yes, we are hunting New England mountains on a live stream. I don't know when the last time we did this was, a while ago, but we don't have a diamond bobcat from this map. We went here, I don't even remember when, maybe 3-4 days ago, and actually had a pretty decent time of it, and we didn't get to hunt their drink time, so that's what we're going to try. We're going to see if we have any luck with bobcats, and there's kind of two ways it could go. If we have good luck and kill a diamond fairly early on, we can go over to Barhunga Savannah and see if we can luck into a diamond Wigeon. If we have bad luck and we just get tired of bobcats, we can also go to Barhunga Savannah and look for a diamond Wigeon. We'll see what happens. Probably just release because no one likes it. Somewhere in there, it was a little while after release, but you know, we pretty quickly, as I recall, got into Great One Moose grinding, so you're probably pretty close. So what is that thing doing? Because I think their drink time's 3 to 6 a.m. It should be in a drink zone. Don't tell me that bobcats are late to their zones as well. You were great on the EW clip, thank you, man. I had such a good time making that video. The Bantang are incredible. I really did my absolute best to like not look at anything else on that map. That is not a big mail, but we will try to get them nonetheless. But yeah, knowing that there's early access and stuff coming up, I didn't want to ruin the experience, so it was almost like running around with a blindfold on until I heard a Bantanger got a track, and then we got into it, got to shoot a couple. Saw the B-roll, they're just incredible. If you guys haven't seen that, it's on the Expansive Worlds channel, and if you don't know what the heck we're talking about, their new Untamed Species series that they kicked off with Scarecrow's Rooster Deer video, what was that, 2 days ago, 3 days ago? I got to do a little collab with Expansive Worlds myself with the Bantang one. It was a good time. It's saying, "Hey, Faloo boy, come get me." Is that right? Sucks for grinding, but it really does make sense to have them be slow to zones. Bobcats themselves, I mean, given the fact that they travel so slowly, I'm not too shocked. I set the time to like 4 something. It's just after 5. There's not a lot of daylight drink time to grind them. We'll do a little bit of night grinding, but I don't even know where we're... Like I don't know good spots for bobcats. If anybody here knows, like, a really great lake for bobcat drink zones, feel free to share, because I don't know what I'm doing. We're just here and completely winging it. And we killed one already, so I mean, that's a plus. I do find a lot of bobcats, generally speaking, not at drink zones, but up in like the center region, so that's where we're going to focus. Aaron, thank you for the super chat and the super sticker. I certainly appreciate that. Flinter for community manager. Man, you know what? As cool as it would be, I love my position currently where, you know, I can freely speak my mind about whatever. I don't have to worry about like, oh hey, whatever I say reflects on the company and stuff. It would be really neat to have that position. I don't know that it's necessarily right for me though. Top stretch along the river is great. So, like this part? Or the whole thing? Because that we can definitely look at. The river to the right of the starting lodge, working up north, is pretty good. Starting lodge is... I thought it was here. Maybe there? So we should we do rivers more than lakes? Got a fox track. No blobcats here. I know they're up here. So I want to check a couple of these spots as we have some tips roll in. Top part of the river is where I got my diamond bobcat. Gotcha. Is there a new trophy lodge with the Australia update? Not that we know of. I mean, there's still... This week will be it, huh? One more EW stream in the lead up to release, so I guess more information could come out. What's up, Space Cowboy? Found next to nothing at lakes? Well then, forget it. Let's just go right up to where the good stuff is. Is Nightbot on summer vacation? There he is. What's up, Thompson? Bantang looks amazing, can't wait for the new map. I'm really, really excited for not only just the Bantang, but for everything. I think, based on my limited experience of getting to hunt them for that video, I think Bantang are going to become...
Well, you look like a pissant.
A bit of a community favorite. I knew that was going to happen at some point during the stream. I wasn't sure if it would be early or not, but I'm glad that it was. No big males. Good chance we've never seen any of these animals, though, because we just don't hunt this map. Got mine on the top river on the right side. Do you think it would be worth just setting the time to 3 a.m.? I want to do, like, some daylight hunting, just because it's annoying to hunt in the dark all the time. So hyped to hear you on EW's video. I don't remember the last time I was on EW's channel. In the past, I was a part of a lot of, like, new releases. I was there for the Truac release. I was definitely the first one to, like, collab with EW for Silver Ridge Peaks. There was some other... There was another new map I did. A lot of, like, collabs with TK, which was really cool. What time do you usually stream? Well, obviously this time. And then also, I should clarify too, Mondays at 3 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. And then also Wednesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. Those are classic streams. Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern, also on Twitch. Typically Call of the Wild, sometimes Way the Hunter. And then normally, Sundays around 11 a.m. Eastern for Farming Sim. This week we didn't do a Farming Sim stream for multiple reasons. I also don't know what to do this upcoming weekend, because of course it's already been announced the early access period is going to be this coming weekend. So I feel like if I stream Farming Sim on Sunday, what's really going to happen is everybody's going to be like, what are you doing? Why aren't we on the new map? So we'll have to see what happens. For the most part, hunting fox and bobcat in the dark isn't too bad on New England. The lighting is really good, not too dark. Okay. I mean, my biggest concern isn't necessarily my ability to see. It's you guys's, you know, through the stream and whatever blurriness and stuff comes with streaming the game. But if it's not too bad, we can give it a try. Aaron, thank you again for the super chat. I love your vids. Keep up the great work. I will definitely do my best. Thank you, thank you. Was hoping that an Australia map would have ostriches on it. Are there ostriches in Australia? Or like emus, do you mean? Micah as well with the super chat. Can you say if that level 5 Bantang made diamond? I can neither confirm nor deny anything regarding what that level 5 Bantang was. Do you think Bantang are going to be good money? You know, frankly, I have no idea. I didn't even look to see how much money I made from the couple that we shot there. Probably. I mean, I'm going to assume... At least we found one. I'm going to assume they're probably 1,000 to 1,200 cash each, just based on normal animals of that size. What's with the 12? 12 is 12, as we say around here. Just a meme. Big meal. Boy, I can see how this could be a little bit annoying. Like, it wouldn't be hard for a bobcat to just be hidden behind these rocks. Are you allowed to tell us their drink time? Probably not, but I also didn't find their drink time. I don't think I found a single drinking Bantang. Best rifle in your opinion? It depends on what you're, you know, hunting for, but I think the 7mm bolt action is probably the most versatile. The 300 is basically the best and most powerful. It is right on par with the 338. Frankly, I guess the 470 in theory should be more powerful, but I don't find it to be. And the advantage with the 300 is it doesn't have the... I happen to have the 338, so when we chamber this round, see the crosshairs get tilted up and to the left? The 300 doesn't do that, and it makes for just slightly better follow-up shots. Zach, thank you for the super chat. You are now inclined to speak with an Australian accent in every Australia video you do now. I will harvest your kidneys if you don't. Crikey. Middle River's the worst. They're very hard to see. We will attempt to avoid that area if we can. Hello. That was a really bad whiff. Grandmaster George, thank you for the super chat. Nice video with Australia Untamed Species. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun to put together. Cool working with the W for the whole thing and just getting to, you know, see that process go from start to finish. Caribou antler rework and bigger herds like in real life. I can understand on some level why they aren't in huge herds, because it would limit the amount of encounters, if that makes sense. Like if there's, say, 20 or 30 in a herd, they would either have to put way more caribou on the map, or if they kept the numbers the same, you know, that cuts the amount of areas where caribou are going to be in, like, what, fifths? That rabbit had no warning. It did. I missed the first time. That was a warning shot. There's a kitty. Not what we're looking for, but if we can kind of learn what type of areas they're in and stuff like that. What happened there? Okay. That's new. Well, first of all, not so good that the first shot just completely failed, but what's it doing? Do you think the Ranger's a good gun to start with? It is criminally underrated. It's so good. The only reason I don't use it more is because for, like, however long it's been, 6 years, we used it all the time, and I like to switch it up when I can. Like, we could be using the Ranger today on Bobcats. It would be the best choice. I have the 223 AR, at least for starters, just to kind of switch it up. And we may switch to the Ranger if we continue to oof our shots, because so far we're 0 for 2 on making a good shot. Been a glitch for a year now? Is it specific to New England? Because I can't say I've seen that. Do Bobcats scare Fox? Probably. They scare basically everything else. Working and lurking sounds good, Hatchet. If I stand still, he won't see me? Way too high. Oh, it was also 40 meters closer than I thought, but second shot was fine. Alright. Can we find a male? That would be preferable. We're also pretty much at the end of their drink time. Is there a good place? That's far. If we can make it up the river to that lodge, we could reset the time there. Yeah, it's gonna get real fast if we can go through water that deep. Every map with Bobcats has that. I guess to be fair, I haven't hunted Rancho much either, but that's so weird. I can't think of any other animal that freezes when you shoot them. Do you think the bear should get the same aggression as the moose? It would be really cool if instead of basically never having bears go aggressive, and when they do, just suddenly, you know, they run at you. If they would, you know, maybe approach you, maybe do some like jaw popping and stuff, it would be really neat. The problem is, any species that does that, for instance wolves, as much fun as it is with wolves, and because there's so many of them it works, it's not overly difficult. Say when like a singular wolf charges you instead of the entire pack, they kind of circle around you and end up giving you a shot. Something like a bear that just charges right at you and doesn't give you that opportunity for a shot, at least it's more difficult. Brendan, thanks so much for the super chat. Finally got my great one black bear, and my game crashed right before I picked it up, and now it's gone. Is there anything I can do to get it back? I don't think there is. I feel so bad for you, because that's the worst thing I could imagine happening. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I mean, game crashed. You've already shot it. I don't think there's anything. You could maybe... I assume you've already gone back and it's just gone, right? I don't know. Once something's dead in the game, I'm pretty sure it's gone. Gotta be worse than having a super long grind? I would say so. Reload a save file when it spawned? I mean, if somebody is making backups, I guess you could do that. How do I say your name? Is it Wandre? I don't know if that's correct, but trying my best. Thank you so much for the super chat. What did that say there? Have you seen what absolute tanks Gimsbuck are in real life? To some degree, like, I'm aware that they're much tankier in real life than they are in game, but I haven't seen many videos or anything to necessarily corroborate that. If PC can revert to a previous save, don't you have to make backups though, or is there like something with Steam to do that? Massive male, holy! How much money would someone have to pay you to press new game? That's a good question. See, my thing isn't, because you don't lose your trophies when you press new game, they're still in your lodge. My thing isn't necessarily about that, it's about like all the stats and stuff. I like to get to keep track of it and see. Like whatever we're at, 50-something thousand harvests, 56,000 harvests, the diamond numbers and all that stuff's there. Like the trophies will still be in the lodge, but it's cool to get to see over all these years how much has gone into it. There's some mail up there. Got another not max estimate track and runs. That's probably him. Hunt Cross, thank you so much for the super chat. What's going on, man? Hope you're having a great day and a great hunt. Well, thank you. We are honestly not doing too bad now that we've been pointed in the right direction for Bobcats. And hope you're having a good day as well. Holy, he's live. That he is. Been grinding moose on Medved. Found max weight track for musteer while tracking it. Came upon a level 2 male moose. Aggressive toward lynx. Makes me wonder if that's where all my moose are. It should only happen when they're in render of you, but that definitely can, you know, mess you up. Lynx, bobcats if you do it on New England. Any of those predator species that will spook things. Ooh, hello. Can definitely mess stuff up. What if this is a level 9 and it takes 12 seconds? Right here on stream, I think released, not even release day, early access day 1, we had a legendary Bobcat and it trolled. That's the only time we've ever seen it. So where did he go? That's walk. That's walk. That's very old. Run. But he would have had to have run right past us then? How do you manage that? What's your favorite animal to hunt on Virunga? It's a good question. Like, my favorite animal on Virunga in general is probably Cape Buffalo, but they're not super unique to hunt or anything. Let me think. Just a mythical. One of those shots hit. Anyway, maybe a springbok? I like that they're not a drink zone animal. Chandler, thank you for the super chat. Tips on starting a red deer grind, map, etc. It's pretty well agreed upon. Te'aroa is the best map to grind for red deer on. They drink on all maps, but Te obviously included, from 6 to 10 a.m. So what I would do is set your time to probably 7 a.m. just to ensure all of your red deer are in their zones. Run around to basically every body of water. Find your kind of best zones, and by best zones I mean ones with either a lot of stags or ones where the red deer are drinking in the wide open. Set up tents, maybe tripods if you have the money for it, and from that point it's kind of just rinse and repeat. Best advice for grinding for the whitetail great one. So I haven't done a whitetail grind since 2020. Literally 3 years ago, yesterday, is when my great one video came out. It was 3 years ago, 2 days ago, that I actually shot the great one whitetail. But I'm saying that because so much has changed in the game since I've grinded for whitetail, I probably am not the best person to ask. That said, it appears that Reventuli Coast is probably the best map for grinding whitetail now. A lot of people do it on Layton with good success. Rancho still is pretty decent, but Reventuli just has so many lakes and so many deer. And it's the same process I just described for red deer. Go around to all the bodies of water during their drink time. Whitetail drink from, I believe it's 8 to 12? 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.? I'm pretty sure that's correct. And you find the best zones, ones where you see a lot of bucks that are drinking in the wide open. Set up your tents, rinse, repeat. Hope one shows up. Pretty much comes down to that. Gotten 6 great ones off Reventuli. That should be pretty good evidence that it works. We'll go all the way up through here just because the Bobcat should have left tracks, even if we don't physically see them. And then we'll reset the time. We may go like 4 a.m. We're not going to hunt the entirety of their drink time just because it's annoying. But close. What's up, Shadow Lord? In your opinion, which deer is the easiest to kill? I mean, factoring in literally everything, whitetail? They're all over the place, they're on a bunch of maps, they're easy to find, they drink for an hour during the broad daylight, and I mean, as we're doing here, we're hunting for something completely different and we're still stumbling into them. I got a great one whitetail on Mississippi Acres. I wasn't trying to spawn one, and it was your first great one? Sometimes I dream about that happening on like Mississippi or New England, a map where I've killed maybe like 50 whitetail total. Something extra special about it when you're not grinding for sure. This is actually my first time watching your streams, always watching the videos. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping in. How much have you been grinding? What? I'm missing something there. What's your biggest moose? 300.5, I think. We shot it on a Leighton live stream early January 2021, if I'm not mistaken. I really liked your EW video today. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It was a lot of fun to put together and pretty special to get to, you know, get that extra sneak peek. It was cool to get to bring everybody along for that one, too, though. Oh. Good thing they're slow, because we'll just run them down. What is blacktail drink time on Leighton? I believe it's 1,600 to 2,000 hours. Someone could maybe help me with that, but I think that's it. Shot a 300.61 moose today. Very nice. Gotta go have football camp? No worries. I was wondering if you would agree with me on this, but I really hope they add a collar for big game like Cape Buffalo, plains, bison, etc. It wouldn't be the most realistic thing. Generally those animals aren't called in real life, but at the same time, it's one of those deals where, you know, is it more important to be realistic or more important to add a fun factor? Now, for me, I don't think you need collars for those species, but for people who really maybe want to bow hunt them and have a hard time stocking them, I could see where it would be useful, and I don't know that it necessarily hurts anything to add it. Do I think they're going to add it, though? Probably not. Nice albino moose. Thank you, man. Genuinely, I was ready to give up on Leighton probably after that run, if that albino hadn't shown up. Gotta spot all the bears and meese, because you just never know. Or don't spot that meese that flew through the screen there. I don't know what that was. There's that guy. It's not bad. See, if we kill all these things, I don't know how long it's going to take us to run the entirety of the river, but we're 20 minutes into the stream, and I don't know, we've killed a good number of male bobcats already. It would almost behoove us to run that same area again. We shall see. Okay, we're close enough. Let's reset the time. Need to fix my PC? You know, would recommend. Do you think thoracic spine should count as a vital hit? That cost me a diamond last night. It's not an uncommon way people shoot them. See, it should, I think, count as a vital, but then there's the problem of, does it make the game too easy? If you can just drop the animal in its tracks and go for that spine shot every time? There's also, I think EW's made it pretty clear that they generally try to promote like ethical hunting, and if you really go back, boy, to like 2017 when the game came out, the point of things like quick kill and consecutive harvest partially were to promote, you know, ethical hunting. Don't shoot something and leave it out there. You gotta make a good shot on something, bring it down in less than 5 seconds. Eventually they changed it to 8 seconds. The way that they had the game, where a spine shot was an insta-kill, I think it's fine. Realistically though, it shouldn't be an insta-kill. They should kind of, you know, either bed down or drop but not die, and then that is a whole other can of worms if there's animations for that and everything. I think it's probably better leaving it as is, but at the same time, it could be better. I just don't know what the better solution is. What's up, Danny? How hard is it to get close to the bantang? I genuinely was surprised at how, like, aware of their surroundings they were. Like, if you spot them first, they're not difficult to stalk. Something like, I think bison would maybe be a good example. If you see them in the distance, and you just crouch, slowly maybe crawl, you can get about as close as you want. But, unlike bison, I was finding that I would spook them really easily. Like, even when I hadn't seen them yet, if they're over the next hill, maybe if solo males in particular, I mentioned those in the video, they blend in really well in those shadows. Maybe it'll be different when I kind of, you know, maybe you find some zones, you know, areas to slow down in, but going in blind, like, genuinely, I was surprised how many times they spooked before I knew they were there. What map deals should I get first? So what I typically recommend, because you can play any map that you don't own in multiplayer, is just go into multiplayer, try every map out, see what you think. If there's ones that you like, I'd buy those ones. Another thing to consider, again, because you can play any map that you don't own, if there's a particular map that you like that also doesn't get a lot of servers hosted, like for instance, New England, not a lot of people play that map. I'd say Mississippi is another decent example, not a lot of Mississippi servers at any given time. Those sorts of maps, you could consider buying those just to ensure that if nobody out there is hosting it and you want to play it, you can because you own it. Did you see any other animals on your hunt? Some, but I tried to like not even spot stuff. I did like, it's not as if I saw things and just didn't shoot them. There were things I shot along my way as I was trying to find where Bantang were, but I did my best to not look at anything because I want to have genuine reactions. So if I would get a warning call or something, I would literally like turn on the blinders and go the other way. The crocs are surely bigger than the Bantang? Are you talking about my specific quote in the biggest animal on the Emerald Coast? I think the crocs probably would be heavier. Because what's the max weight for gators? Isn't it like 600 kilo or something like that? When I say biggest, I guess I mean like stature. Did you claim the Bantangs you shot? Yes. For the sake of trying to, I guess, explain why there's no harvest screen shown. You guys know, Expansive Worlds likes the community to discover stuff. That's why they don't tell us what animals are rare. They don't tell us, you know, for instance, with the Great One Fallow Deer, I think Jaxy intentionally kept scores from us. Like, they like the community to discover all that stuff. And in that same way, if we show the harvest screen, some of that information's out there. It's cooler if the community gets to discover it. So because of that, we didn't show any harvest screen footage so that everybody can discover it on their own. Haven't attended any streams recently, but you get a turkey this spring. No, I should have. I'm going the wrong way. Big male vibes. To give the short version of the story, I called one in. It was really windy. My decoy was going nuts. He was kind of standing there at 40 yards. Looked less than confident that it was real due to the wind. And I decided to take the shot. I just hit him a little bit too low. Do Bantang have a drink time? I have no idea. Probably, but I didn't discover it. Got my first diamond elk yesterday and it scored 512, so Rocky Mountain elk. That's a pretty good one. I think they get up to the area of like 520 or so. I should have checked. It is 3 to 6, right? Yeah. So they should be out here. Hiding amongst the rocks. I almost, weirdly enough, I almost feel that I can see better with the night vision than I can, say, at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. when it's light out. Can I mow? I mean, I guess. Had a group of 3 jakes walk through my yard yesterday morning. You know what happened, like, a lot right after the season ended? I had a cell cam, like, in a pretty common roost area, just, you know, days where I'm maybe working on videos, or like, for instance, Wednesday nights when I stream Classic and I can't be at my mom and dad's to try to put a turkey to roost. I figured, hey, you know, maybe I can put one to roost with a cell cam. Not much different anyway. They basically tell you where they are. I hope that's not like some kind of unethical thing. I feel like it would have been fine. People do it with deer anyway. But I think only once did I ever get a cell cam photo of a turkey roosting there. Like 5 days in a row, right after the season, there was a big gobbler roosting right there. I was like, come on, man. Like, why you gotta do this to me? Biggest of kitties? Oh yeah, this is a diamond for sure. Easy diamond. Surely that was a lung. Okay. What's up, mistress? Do you think they'll add ostriches to the new map? I'm pretty sure there's not ostriches in Australia, but maybe I'm dumb. If you mean emus, I guess there would be more of a chance of that. Or cassowaries. The Hollow Ground, thank you for the super chat. What map should I hunt, and do you wish the Class 9 weapons did more damage? 7 mil seems stronger than most of them. Either... So here's the thing. I think the Class 9 weapons do an appropriate amount of damage for most Class 9 animals. Bison, Cape Buffalo, Water Buffalo. A long shot, they go down pretty quick, and you can effectively and consistently make hard shots. The problem is, something like a moose, which is Class 8, seems tougher than any buffalo I've ever shot. At least since the Great One Moose update, I find that moose are way tougher. And in that, I either wish that the moose were debuffed a little bit, or the 300 and 338 were buffed a bit more. I mean, when you've got basically the most powerful weapon in the game, and you can't double lung what you're hunting for? Other than Cape Buffalo and Water Buffalo, I can't think of a single thing that when you use like the appropriate caliber, you're not double lunging the animal. Like in real life, if I'm hunting a whitetail, and whatever bullet I'm using is hitting one lung, I'm changing calibers, you know? And if it'd be the same for moose. If I'm using a... What would single lung a moose? Like a 30-30? Probably. Whatever. Not important. If I'm using something on a moose, and I'm only hitting one lung, I'm going to get something more powerful. What's up, Army? Great job with the EW video. Bantang look great. Thank you, man. They really... I have been so impressed. I'm super excited to see... I'm assuming there's rares. Obviously, I didn't find any, or I'd have showed you. I think they could really become like a community favorite. Based on their size, their tankiness, they're in a good spot. Like, I think it's a fun area of the map to hunt. Should be good. You can double lung a moose with a 30-06 in real life? Exactly. And the 30-06 in this game doesn't have much less penetration than the 300 does. It's just the expansion, which is arguably realistic depending on the load. And that's what it comes down to. When ballistics in this game don't make sense, you can always just be like, well, maybe the devs designed it to be a lighter load or a hotter load, depending on what caliber it is and whether it's over or underpowered. Where's the cats? Got some drink zones up there, so maybe there's going to be Bobcat ones. What would you say would happen in real life? With what? You think you'll do any group hunting? Wait. Do I think any group hunting will happen with other gamers? Like other content creators? You never know. Something that Kyle and I talked about is maybe the next moose grinding stream at some stage, which could be well down the road. We could get Kyle and Mel and myself on the server and just literally slaughter moose for a few hours. That might be fun. But with the Emerald Coast on the way and all that good stuff, that will probably be forward down the road. There's a Bobcat. Not a big one, but it must die just like the rest. Oh, good. You know, if we find a 9 and it does that, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. I hate ever shooting a diamond that's stuck, because the entire purpose of it is like, you know, the hunt for it and getting that perfect shot, especially on a small game animal. Hello there. Kyla, thank you for the super chat. I certainly appreciate the support. Look at this little guy. I hear another one. I want to get back to this game so bad. I enjoyed it a lot, but my PC isn't good at all, so it runs poorly. That definitely makes it tough. Like, even in the lead up to Reventuli Coast release, my old PC was dying. Actually, the PC was fine. The old graphics card was dying, and it became so much less enjoyable to play because I had to lower the graphics settings and I was still lagging. Like, I totally get you. The bird flop sounds just the best. I love it. There's another... Oh, it might be classic, actually. If you shoot a bison in classic, it's actually... They do make a sound when they fall. But for whatever reason, when you harvest them, they'll remake that sound sometimes. I think it might be when you take a trophy shot. It scares me every single time. Got a Twiki. Just got trolled by 0.2 on an ibex. That's the worst. Which ibex species? I feel like almost none of them troll, because I think all 4 species can make diamond at level 4. I'm gonna call you troll because I don't think I can say your entire name. Thank you for the super chat. Need 22 versus Bantang. So we did 22 versus Cape Buffalo back in the day. We then eventually, I think Zaggy and I did 22 versus Water Buffalo. I don't know if I ever did 22 versus like Plains Bison. We did do Euro Bison, I think, in the Water Buffalo video. We got, which one of those came through first? I think Rise came through first. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the support, man. Very much appreciated. Where are the big males? We're honestly doing an okay pace since we don't have tents. And cool with the super chat as well. Thank you, thank you. Think you'll do a group hunt with any gamers? I don't know what you mean by gamers necessarily. Do you mean like community members? Do you mean content creators? If you mean just general community members, what I will say is I'll be in multiplayer plenty, so I'm sure I'll run into a lot of you guys. Big male. A Grados Ibex? It was practically guaranteed and still trolled. That is the worst. A few days ago I got trolled. Wait. Trolled by a blue wildebeest? Was it a level 4 with a chance at diamond? Because I'm fairly confident every level 5 wildebeest ever has made diamond. Great One Moose casually struts by. With the 4 moose that we've killed on this map ever. Didn't need to add a Great One Elk. I think because they want to do base game species, it would most likely be Great One Roosevelt. I think that'd be a great idea. Not a big male. Somebody said to, like, this river, so when we get through with this chunk, I guess we'll do the other one. I just do feel if we go to every single zone and keep on running along here, there's got to be a legendary on this map. I just don't think diamond bobcats are that rare. Why are you switching between Twitch and YouTube streams? I wouldn't say I'm switching between them so much as intentionally scheduling both. So it comes down to a couple things. One, Twitch is generally like a better environment for streaming. It's just a more chill, relaxed place, and everybody that's on Twitch is there expecting a stream, so I think because of that, you'll generally get less like Q&A type questions. Does that make sense? Like when we stream on Twitch, the conversations are everything from football to like what did everybody have for breakfast to, you know, etc, etc. YouTube streams are generally very much focused on the game, which I'm more than happy about. Like I enjoy both types of streaming, but the other thing is, it's a bit of a don't put all your eggs in one basket type of move. If it ever happened that YouTube said like, hey, you know what? We don't like hunting content on our platform and hunting games are going to fall into that category, we're demonetizing your channel. I would be big screwed if I didn't have somewhere else to go. So having Twitch as a place where we have a consistent schedule and stuff, I would still be able to be like, hey, so I guess we're streaming on Twitch every day now because we got smoked. I'm hoping that never happens. It could go the other way too. It could happen that, especially with Twitch making quite interesting decisions lately, Twitch could say they're doing something and we just go YouTube full time. But either way, you just never want to have all your eggs in one basket if possible. That would suck. It really would, because I enjoyed, like, streaming is a ton of fun. And I don't think I would get to enjoy certain things, like maybe grinding. Like, we wouldn't do as much moose grinding if it wasn't for streams. Maybe never would have killed a Great One Whitetail if it wasn't for streams. We did a lot of that live. But video creation's like my biggest thing. If I ever got, you know, kneecapped in that sense, I don't know what I would do. What's up, Mr. Freeze? Nothing's better than the Ethics of Hunting Twitch stream. Those go for like 45 minutes. Everybody's like, the only thing in chat is straight up hunting ethics chat. It's a full viewer engaged type of stream. A 200 whitetail? Holy! YouTube's weird with demonetization rules. Yeah, I've generally been lucky in the sense that, like, I've never really, had a certain type of content where it goes up against the, starts to walk the line a little bit. There was that one period of time where a bunch of people got afraid that real-life hunting content was going to get demonetized. But I think so far with YouTube, as long as it's, like, sensible, if you're not glorifying the, blood or the dead animal or whatever, it's usually fine. Which is good. Any ideas for breakfast? 7:30 a.m., 7:40 a.m.? I always have oatmeal, but eggs and bacon is always the correct answer. An albino lion. Nice, man. We get you introduce any other animals for EW. I assume I'm allowed to say that I'm not doing any more, at least with Emerald Coast. I'd love to be invited back in the future to do more of those. It was a ton of fun. If I'm not allowed to say that, I didn't say that. What was that? Kind of light colored? It was a Bobcat for sure. Decent mail. What's up, Captain Murray? Power just came on for once you're streaming at a somewhat right time. Oh, I'm the one with the schedules being off. Is it different? I just asked you this recently. Is it the same schedule every day? Like, at 3 p.m. power goes on, 5 p.m. power goes off, or does it change? That's an awkward shot. Well, it worked. Who do you think will win the Super Bowl this year? So last year I picked Niners and Bills to go and Niners to win. And I was within reason, I guess, because if Brock Purdy didn't get hurt, who knows what happens. It feels cheesy to just pick the Chiefs again, though I do think they have a good shot at it. I think the Niners are going to get in it. Niners or Eagles. I don't know who else comes out of the NFC, but I'll go Niners. And AFC. Everybody's good is the problem. I don't even know. Bengals, maybe? And I'll still pick the Niners to win, because I think they'd have a good matchup against them. Packers for sure. Jordan Love's gonna take the reins and get her done. Huh. I thought that was gonna be a water track. Luke, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. It's a wild Flinter. Pew. Wait, are you shooting at me? Get down. Are you a Steelers fan? I am, yes. I do feel, by the way, 2024, I'm picking the Steelers. Whoever asks, I'm picking them. I really think that's the year. I think this year they get closer. I don't think they get to the Super Bowl this year. They could miss the playoffs. The AFC is so stacked. But I'm picking them in 24. I think Pickett makes a leap this year, makes a little more of a leap next year, and they're in the conversation. A Browns fan. I always, it's a genuine, I'm not trying to be like, so how about that quarterback years? What do you think? I'm genuinely curious, because there's almost a 50-50 split with Browns fans, whether they're wishing that they never signed the guy, or, excited for the potential of having potentially the best quarterback the team's ever seen. Steelers record prediction this year. 10-7 or 11-6 probably. I gotta look at the schedule again. I think they have a legit shot of beating the Niners in week 1. If they do, I'd go 11-6. Because we don't even know who the Niners quarterback's going to be week 1. And the Steelers have this tendency to just win games in week 1. Like, they beat the Bills in week 1 in 2021. They beat the Bengals week 1 last year. Whether it's Tomlin, whether it's, I don't know, the players, they just have a tendency to surprise really good teams. So I'd go like 11 and 6 area. What time's Bobcat drink time? It is 3 to 6 a.m., so it can be a little frustrating. A lot of hunting in the dark, but tis what it tis. The Bears are gonna win? I need to... This is a better Twitch conversation than YouTube conversation, because chat is rolling today, and I appreciate everyone being here, but I need to have like a legitimate back and forth conversation, because I want to get the perspective of Bears fans on Justin Fields, because I get why everybody is really excited for him, but his ability and stuff hasn't translated into many wins yet, and I need to see that more from him. But you saw Jalen Hurts last year. If you have the right team, that formula of a quarterback that's really capable of running can work well. It's just nobody's ever won the Super Bowl that way, and it's hard for me to see, without the insane support that Jalen Hurts had, a team doing that. That 5 medium had me for half a second every time, I swear. It's not... Oh, this one ran some, huh? It's not, for me, it's not even like, oh, I forgot I'm hunting Bobcats. It's you just see that 5 medium in all caps, and for a lot of species, that means something special. I do the same thing. Bears ain't even going to be 500. I don't know what the record is. And I mean, the NFC North isn't super strong, but can I just say I don't know what the record is? I don't know what their schedule is what I meant to say. I don't know what the record is, because the season hasn't happened. Who do you think will win in college? Man, I don't follow it enough to really know much about what's going on. I know UGA is probably still good, but at the same time, half their team's in the NFL now, so that probably gives them a step back. Stetson Bennett's no longer there, although that may help them. He was good, but you know, it wasn't some insane talent. Chargers are a good pick if they can stay healthy. Like, it's truly incredible how many injuries the Chargers go through every single year. Like, you begin to wonder, is there something more at play there? What is happening? There we are. Schmoll. Bama got it this year? So who's their up-and-comer? Because, Bryce Young is out of there as well now. What bow do you shoot? So in 2022, the bow that I shot my West Virginia buck with, that was a Darton Spectra. Technically, it's, I think, Darton Spectra E32, but you'll know it is the Spectra if you're a Darton fan. This year, assuming everything goes to plan, I'll be shooting a Darton Veracity. Now, the way that the Veracity is kind of advertised is if you're someone who hunts and shoots competition, the Veracity is kind of a combination. So if you see competition bows, they're very long axle to axle, stabilization, all that stuff is really important. That longer axle to axle length helps with stabilization. So if you don't want to have to buy a hunting bow and a competition bow, it's one that you can kind of do both with. Now, I don't hunt, I don't shoot competition. I don't hunt competition. I don't hunt down my competitors. But I used a longer axle-to-axle bow in 2020, and I've never shot so accurately in my life. And for that reason, I want to go with the Veracity this year. It's supposed to be a shooter, so I did get to shoot it at the ATA show. There's video of that on the Me Hunters channel if you guys want to see it. TK and I both shot. I can't remember if in that video both of us shoot each bow, or if he shoots the Spectre and I shoot the Veracity in that bow. I can't remember how TK edited it, so oh, hello there. I wasn't a part of that process, but anyway. The first shot I took, I was like, man, if I can have my hands on this bow this year, I will do it. It's just one of those things where as soon as you feel it, it's like that fits everything I want in a bow. Where is this guy hiding? Is he across the way here? Oh, there is a track there. Do you follow baseball? Not much. When we were in Georgia last month, nope, 2 months ago now, Kyla's family is pretty big Braves fans, so like I followed it a little bit there. I genuinely enjoyed just like, you know, being in an environment where I can root for a sports team. I don't care if I have much affiliation with them. I don't necessarily care if they're good or bad. Like, it was just fun to get to watch baseball like every night for a week or so. I haven't followed much of it since, though. We could use a max emote for all the max weight tracks you follow. I kind of like that. There's a bunch of emotes I need to make. What I should really do is just pay someone who actually knows how to make emotes to do it. If you could pick one super rare to get, what would it be? Normally I would just say like a Leucistic Diamond Cape Buffalo. I really do want that. If I were to factor in like multi-mounts and stuff, what would look really good in a multi-mount? Well, actually, you know what it would be? Probably a Melanistic Diamond Whitetail. Only because I've already got an Albino and a Piebald Diamond, so I could complete that multi-mount there. Awesome seeing you on the EW update video. It was really cool to get to participate. I was glad that it seemed to be received really well. That was cool. Where are we heading here? I'm kind of thinking what this track is him kind of turning around to go back to his zone? Or maybe it's just kind of not showing the direction he actually went. That'll happen on occasion. Let's go as if he kept going the same way. Not much up here either. Like, there's still tracks here, so stuff can traverse this and go this way. Not any Bobcat tracks, so where the heck did he go? By the way, it is legitimately faster to jump down hills. What class was the Bantang? That I can tell you because it was on screen. They are class 9. The subtle flex. Oh, casually saying you've got a diamond of the other 2 whitetail rares. I'm definitely aware of how like lucky I got in getting those, so I guess I try not to make too big of a deal of them. Like at the time, I've talked about this on stream before, but I didn't think that much of it. Like, it was really cool to get super rares, don't get me wrong, especially one on stream. But it kind of just... nobody was grinding anything ever. So it was like, oh, I guess if you shoot almost 2,000 of an animal, you get some super rares. Makes sense. If I only knew. What's your biggest buck you've killed? I'm assuming you're asking about real life. Tis a 180 and 6/8 gross 14 point. Any luck so far? We're on our second max estimate track now, I believe. What was your first diamond? It was a musk deer, actually. I think it was the day before Halloween 2017. The prior video, I had just messed up, sort of, a diamond moose, and I did so by not having consecutive harvest. That's back in the good old days of consec and quick kill and the whole deal. I hard shot him, everything was right, except I didn't have consec, and therefore it ended up being a gold. Was out there the next day in the same area, found a level 3 musk deer, and I still didn't have a clue what I was doing, still didn't check my consecutive harvest or anything when I claimed it, but that time we were good. Got a, I think, 957 diamond out of him. It was a cool thing. My first diamond I ever shot was with the 223. Who would have saw that coming? I just saw him here for a second. Dream hunt in real life? I think caribou in Alaska, probably with the bow, but the bow part isn't a necessity. Dang it. How many big males must we track? You know what's funny too? Between this hunt and the multiplayer hunt, I still can't remember what day I did that video. It feels like it was a while ago now, but whenever it was. 4, I think, max estimate tracks? No, they've all been mythicals. And I'm not saying I expect one to be a 9, I'm saying I expect one to be a 7. Where'd he go? We gotta make him dead regardless of the fact that he's not what we want. Dude's an escape artist. What map is this? This is the New England Mountains map. Dream hunt would be a black grouse hunt. You know, I wouldn't even know what they were before Rev and Thule, and now I definitely don't blame you. They're really cool. You know, technically that has a... I don't think mythical Bobcats are ever going to make it. Never mind. I don't want to track it. Was going to try to use the 223, but would rather just smoke them. What can I say, Stoop? What can I say? In the interest of saving time, I think we're actually going to spawn here and run the rest of the way back towards where we came from. If only the 338 was ethical, that penetrated through the liver. Dream hunt would be red stag in New Zealand. That was kind of my dream hunt for a long time. I don't know why it changed to caribou necessarily. I'd still love to hunt red deer as well. They're a really cool species. Like during, they call it the roar, I think. Red deer rut, I guess, would probably be another way to say it. During that time frame, hearing all that, I can't imagine anything. Maybe elk bugle and like nuts, but that deep, like, guttural roar, that would be special. Anything good? Nothing special. We just killed our second mythical Bobcat, though, so, I mean, we're doing alright. We haven't gotten a, you know, a troll or anything. No diamonds, obviously, but can't complain when we're finding a couple of big ones. They should add an Ice Age world to hunt in. I know Kyla and many others are a huge supporter of the idea of doing some kind of like prehistoric type map. I think if they did it in such a way, maybe where it's got its own trophy lodge or something like that, it might be more accepted by the rest of the community. So here's the thing, like, EW made a game about 10 years ago called The Hunter Primal. I still think it's probably the best dinosaur hunting game ever made, outside of the fact that it didn't have enough content to really, you know, hold that title. There was only 5 species, but it was so good. Like, they had everything in place, and then it was actually a side project for the classic devs, I think. And, you know, for whatever reason, whether they, you know, didn't have the time or, who knows, resources, they ended up basically abandoning the game. But if they could make that as a side project, imagine Call of the Wild's engine, Call of the Wild's graphics, and like the dinosaur AIs and stuff they could come up with, it would be, I think, second to none. I can't imagine anything that would top it. Primal had so much potential, it kills me, man. It just kills me that it never went further. Shot my first ever diamond Sika deer today, there you go. I think, depending on what happens with Emerald Coast, the fact that Great One Fallow are on the way, and I imagine a lot of people will end up grinding on Tay, we may see more diamond Sika deer coming out from that map, if for no other reason than the fact that people may need to clear hunting pressure and do so by hunting Sika. Okay, that definitely missed a heart. I don't know if it got a lung by chance, but not gonna take the risk. I think we hit the rock there. Thank goodness they just don't go anywhere. What's the Farming Sim 22 farm name? Like the server name is just Flinter's farm. It should be up. Actually, it might be down right now. There was an update for it yesterday, and I don't know if it completed. We did actually watch that one, Bottom Boy. We watched it when we were in Georgia, and I don't know how I felt about it. It was just odd. Nope, not the right gun. So I think we have a female laying somewhere right here. There she is. Haven't seen 6.5, but it looks strange to say the least. I mean, there were some good parts about it and stuff, but it just didn't... I don't know. It didn't flow right for me. Like, it just... nothing ever made a lot of sense. What are we hunting? We're looking for a diamond bobcat. So of all the species in all the Hunter Call of the Wild, the only diamonds we don't have are Eurasian Wigeon and Bobcat. Now, we have a diamond Mexican Bobcat, we have many of those, over on Rancho, but these are technically a different thing, and for that reason, we have a little time. Why not see if we can get a diamond in one of those? Okay, let's run the rest of this, just in case. Be my luck there's a diamond drinking up there and we don't go there. Worst case, pick up tracks. Been watching your channel for a while now, and I was wondering what you think the fastest way to level up is with only the base maps, Teawaroa and Rancho. If you just want to level up, go to Teawaroa, set the time to, like, when did Fallow drink? 10 o'clock, I think? And just the river on the eastern side of the map. Just run along that. You're going to see so many fallow deer. Shoot as many as you can. You're going to start leveling up really fast. Red deer as well. You could shoot a ton of red deer on that map, but depending on what level you are, if you only have the 243, I would at least try to get something like the 30-06 before going for red deer. You know what I would like? A leucistic eastern turkey just flew out of here. Those things are some of the coolest looking rares in the entire game. Boy, should have hit that. I don't know, if it was 150 meters, maybe being zeroed for 50 were too low. I don't like when people call red stags elk. Sometimes it's like... I don't know about red stags, actually. For some people call moose elk, but I think that's like a regional thing. I'm guessing maybe the red deer can have that same type of deal. My mellow Rio Grande is awesome looking. I don't know that I knew Rio Grandes could be mellow. I knew Merriam's and Easterns could. I don't think I've ever seen a mellow Rio Grande. Was it like a... I'm assuming it was a gold. Be really unfortunate. I've seen some people get them too, like a rare turkey that's a silver. But it does happen. Are the Banteng bulletproof like all other level 9 animals in Call of the Wild? I didn't find that they were necessarily bulletproof. As I said in the video, you know, if you're using a 7mm or something, you can punch through to a lung, but you can probably expect to track it for a bit. I don't know that I ever had any issues with the 338 or 300. Does this game get boring to you? Every now and then, particularly if I really play a lot after a new map. Like a good example, when, let me think. This would have been in 2019? When Yukon came out. I played that map so much. Like, basically non-stop for hours on end. I had all the diamonds in the game. I think maybe other than Red Fox, I did spend a lot of time going for them, but they aren't that fun to hunt. Surprise, surprise. So between the release of Yukon and the release of whatever map came out after that, Teawaroa? What was the winter map that year? It might have been. Anyway. Those time periods, I do find that sometimes I'll get bored with the game, but for the most part, having things like Wade the Hunter and the Hunter Classic, having things to strive for in this game, like some of the great ones we don't have, such as the Bobcat we're looking for right now, it keeps it interesting for me. Quattro, that's right, yes. And then Quattro was good. That was a good reprieve from the boredom. Special delivery. I still have no super rare, but I have several uncommon diamonds. I mean, super rares definitely have earned their title as being super rare. It is a real, I would say a combination of a real challenge to get them, and it just requires a real high amount of luck. Plooped. Convenient it was. Are spine shots still good? No. If you hit the spine, it won't count as a vital hit. And in order to get the maximum metal for any species, there's 4 harvest checks you have to pass. You need to hit the vitals. You need to use the correct ammo. You need to kill the animal with 2 shots or less. So if you use 3 shots, you don't pass that harvest check. And the last one is to not destroy the trophy orchids, which, frankly, I wish they would just remove that. I get the idea, but effectively that means don't shoot the animal in the head. I just think it's a hunting game, we should be able to do headshots. Everybody likes to make a headshot every now and then. Me, who still needs a super rare? I need a super rare more, so... Sorry. What's up, Chris? How's it going, man? Sadly, the mellow Rio Grande I have is a hen. Okay, I mean, still, though. Gotta look cool. Shot a diamond piebald, 6 kills after a great one, my only super rare. 6 kills after a great one. Was it the same day? It was the same day, that's like top tier luck. How do I get to... Man, I like the design of some of these outposts and stuff, but simplicity and efficiency sometimes are really not considered, I think, when they're designed. Okay. A new river. And not River Knox. So if I hit the spot, it won't kill a moose. It will kill it, but you won't pass the harvest check. Next animal we take, I'll try to show you the harvest check thing. I think there should be a super rare and a herd management super rare classification. Herd management definitely does jack up the rates of super rares. There's no denying that. What plumage type is that bluish pheasant? Melanistic. They are... I mean, there's a lot of cool rares in the game. I don't know if anything tops that. What's up, Ryder? Going good, man. How about you? If River Knox, do you open the door? What's the other lady's name? Not that River's a lady. What is her name? The Aurora Shores girl. I don't know if her name can somehow turn into a pun for the rest of that joke. Probably not. Are you doing a Great One Black Bear grind? I guess technically I'm doing one, but I haven't messed with it in a while now. We will get back to it eventually. Here's how I'm going to lay out my hopes for the next, 2 months, okay? So, Emerald Coast comes out. Great One Fallow is a part of that update. And hopefully within a month, is that reasonable? I don't think a Great One Fallow is going to be too hard to get. Great One Fallow deer, just because of how easy it is to grind fallow generally, I think they're going to be pretty achievable. So let's say, end of July, we have a Great One Fallow. Back to the moose grind, right? If we can keep grinding through the summer and get a Great One moose maybe before September, the only Great One in the game we wouldn't have then is a black bear, and at that point we go back to the black bear grind. Jackie Makovich. I don't know if I can make a pun about if River Knox then. There's one in there somewhere if you really thought about it. Does harvest checks mean anything? Yes. What they affect is, I think, the amount of cash and XP you get from any harvest, but more importantly, they affect the metal score of an animal. So, you know, you see everybody going for diamonds or great ones. If you don't pass all the harvest checks on a diamond, instead of a diamond, you'll get a gold. If you don't pass all the harvest checks on a great one, instead of a great one, you'll get a gold. I hope fallow are kinder to us than meese. I feel like you more so than me. I still only have like 4,000 meese kills. But I sure hope the fallow grinds are like maybe a few thousand at most. Got that diamond musk deer? It was a jerk? Yeah, diamond musk deer, they're better now than they used to be, but they can be a real struggle to get. Do you ever stream Classic? Yes, Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. We pretty much always do a Classic stream on that day. Every now and then, like for instance, the day after a new map releases in Call of the Wild, because typically Call of the Wild releases on a Tuesday, I will make those Wednesday night Classic streams Call of the Wild here and there. I don't even know if I'll do it this time. But other than that, the only time of year where we don't do those streams is basically from November to New Year's, because of hunting season. I'm excited to hopefully get a mellow fallow during the grind. Same here. We have a decent piebald and a pretty nice albino now. I don't think we've ever killed a good Mela. Ready for the 12-hour grinding days? That I definitely will not be doing, so maybe I need to have a little bit more luck to keep on pace there. Palo slaughter. Yikes. Trying to get a Legacy Horns Diamond. Euro Bison already 165 kills in and no diamond yet. See, they're one of those tough animals where people don't hunt Hirschfelden a lot. I know that Euro Bison on Hirschfelden are actually grinded for relatively often. Like, a good number of people have done bison grinds there, and to decent success, so hopefully you have a diamond around the corner. Can a 270 kill a moose? Yes, you're going to track it for a while, but it can. What's the line of who's going to get a great one fallow first, Flinter or Kilikai? I don't even think that's going to be close. Kylo will probably have one way before me. Oh. I didn't even know. When do they drink? Is this same as Bobcats? That's cool. Maybe we can get some kind of cool raccoon. I've never killed any of the piebalds. We have an albino, but there's a piebald for each variant. So there's a blonde piebald, there's a gray piebald, and there's a brown piebald. I have had, I think on 2 separate occasions over on Mississippi, the blonde piebald track, and I can never find the animal. They always glitch out and go in a straight line. Yesterday I messed up a max score red fox, missed the lungs of the 243. That's always so tough because they're such a small animal. Like, it's really easy to do. Off by a little bit, or if they just move at the wrong time, it's the worst. You're a piebald? Thank you. I don't know what that means, but thank you. I can't keep it straight. Will you get to keep early access trophies this go around? No. It's like a separate save or something now, I think. I'm guessing it's never going to be a thing again that we get to, unless maybe they change it. I am so sorry. Oh, it got away. Lucky day. If we don't find a Bobcat in the next... See, the thing is, I know they're up here. I changed my mind. We'll just do the whole thing. I was going to run back through what we already did and look for respawns, but I say we stay the course. Just got my first Great One Moose after 1,509 kills. There you go. Just in time with the new map on the way. When does early access start? This Friday. So probably, depending on what happens, we'll try to have a stream and videos on Friday. What will be interesting is that Kyla's family is going to be visiting, and they'll be here on Friday. So I got to really use my time wisely. Do springbok drink anymore? No. They removed springbok drink time. Not because they were too easy to hunt, because I think chamois and some other species they removed drink times for, they wanted them to be more challenging to hunt, because that would be realistic. Springbok actually don't really, go to a water source to drink in their life. They get all their hydration through the grasses and stuff they eat, so that was just a realism thing to clean that up. Oh, I forgot to do that, Kyla. I walked into this room, sat down, hit start streaming, like I had no bonus time, but I meant to do that. Chili sounds so good right about now. It's like pouring down rain and not particularly warm today, so, when it comes to making chili in June, you gotta pick a cold day, and today fit the bill. Are gators getting a pop reset? Yeah, they are, right? Is Mel still here? She'll know. I'm pretty sure they said they were. I get confused because they were talking about AI reworks and stuff. Great job on the Bantang reveal. I really see Elands falling into that category. Elands would be a really cool addition, whether, to Virunga or to a new Africa map someday. Are you affected by the smoke from Canada? A couple of days ago, it was kind of just hanging in the air a little bit. It was a little bit hazy outside. When did I mow grass mostly? On Saturday. I don't really know what caused it, but when I got back inside, I just had like the worst headache. And I was outside mowing grass for like 8 hours, so maybe it was still kind of in the air, just not very visibly. You know what the best meal is when it's cold and rainy? Soup. Is chili a soup? Depends who you ask. What are the best springbok spots then? If I was on the map, it'd be easier for me to show you, but so there's an outpost in the far northeast. It's only a couple 100 meters away from a little lake. Then west of that, there's another outpost. If you run, I go from east to west, but you could go west to east, I guess. If you run between those two outposts, you'll normally find several herds of springbok out there feeding. Chili's a little too thick to be a soup, more of a chowder. Got a stew. Closer to a stew than a soup. I need to know what viscosity denotes soup versus stew. This is the most important thing we're going to ask on stream, so I'm going to ask everybody to input their opinion. I don't remember how to measure viscosity anymore. My brother did a science fair like presentation on, I think it was different types of motor oil, and there was a measurement for it, but I can't remember what it was. Great job on the Expansive Worlds collaboration. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Is chili an instrument? No, Patrick. Deer chili is so good. That's what we're making tonight. Huntcross, thank you for the super chat again. Food and Flinter streams the best. Food and anything's the best. Food and a little bit of entertainment, you're good to go. That's why I like football so much, to be honest. The viscosity of chili is 12? Dang, you're right. When's the classic stream? Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. You hate chili? I don't know if that's legal. There's a mail. Alright, only took like a kilometer. We definitely could have started here instead. Got trolled by a Roosevelt? Those just hurt. I had a troll Roosevelt as well in one of the Leighton trophy cabin hunts. It's just painful. You don't see a lot of level 5s of them. Like, it's a legit rare diamond still. And they're especially unique in that most base game animals these days, like whitetail, moose, red deer, fallow deer, these things that were like really rare and special diamonds 5-6 years ago are kind of common now. Roosevelt elk are still like a legit hard to come by one. In a bowl, soup, the broth covers over the top of the ingredients. Stew, the ingredients take up way more than the broth in a bowl. Okay, so if Kyla has her way, chili's a soup. If I have my way, it's a stew. So we make it like both, and I just strain it out, basically. Favorite map is Leighton Lakes. Bit of a nostalgia factor there, but also important in that distinction for me is that Leighton's got some of the most antlered animals of any map out there. It used to, for a very long time, be the map with the most antlered species. I don't know if that's still true, but it's still up there for sure. Let's see what this guy was. Average size. I think this is the one that we shot. I think chili just falls into its own category. I mean, it probably could. Leighton is no longer the king of antlered animals? Does someone know what it is? Because I genuinely, if I sat down and thought about it, I could probably figure it out, but I haven't done so. Yeah, we're pretty much the same way, Bottom Boy. Like, in the winter, if it's even a question like, hey, what's for dinner tonight? Dude, thaw out some venison, we're making chili, let's go for it. It costs like, if you don't count the deer meat, because, you know, There's some cost involved there, but you figure that's an investment till you have your gun and your bow and the freezers and the packing equipment, all that good stuff. But anyway, depending on how you do it, if you make it from scratch or like a lot of times, if not most times, we'll just do like 2 chili cans and then add a bunch of browned venison. I think it's like $4 for what's going to end up being 4 or 5 meals. It's great. Do you mince your own venison? Yes. My entire life growing up, anytime we've ever shot a deer, we process it our own. One reason is, well, I guess one reason is my dad has the equipment to do it. But maybe more important is the concern that most, not all, but most deer processors, if you take a deer to them, you'll get back a deer's worth of meat. You might not get back your deer. So for instance, you know, say you've got we'll just take a doe so we don't have to worry about antlers and stuff, because that's not really relevant anyway. You got a doe, she comes walking out, she's offering a bad angle shot, you wait and wait, she turns broadside, you double lung her, don't hit the guts, no nothing, no problem. The deer you get back could be from a guy that shot it right through the stomach, and that's just not as quality meat. Now, there are deer processors that guarantee you get your deer back, but you definitely know where it's coming from and what's happening to it when you process it yourself. Do you know how much or what animals are on the new Aussie map? I've got a video that goes through the entire species list. I think it's 14 species, 8 new ones. That sounds right. Or you won't get your meat minus some. You know, one of my cousins usually does take his deer to a processor. And one year, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, we took it there. I believe the processor was supposed to call and let him know, like, hey, your deer's done, come pick it up. And he waits and waits and waits, doesn't get a call. Calls the guy like, hey, is my deer done? I'd like to come pick that up. This is a quote, all right? The guy says, I lost it. Tell me how you lose a deer. That's dead, by the way. Just in case there's any confusion there. I don't know if the dude just sells a little bit on the side and tells a couple people a year that he loses their deer, or how all that works, but that's an option too. You mean you ate it? I guess. I don't know, man. I truly have no idea what he means. Do you have early access to the new Australia map? We will have early access. That will be this weekend. Starts on Friday. I forget the time. They told me the time. I forget what it is. But you can bet this coming Friday we'll have videos and hopefully a stream checking out the new map, all the good stuff that has to offer. I'm really excited. My freezer broke? I guess that's just a risk, right? If you're taking a deer to a deer processor, you certainly hope that they have a generator for such situations. That sounds like the title of something else, John. The locker Cole uses offers the option to get pork fat added to the ground meat, but we don't get any added. Usually we will actually add beef tallow. My dad gets it, I don't know where, a local butcher place that will add in. It definitely does add a little flavor, and maybe more importantly, if you're cooking burgers with it, or something, chili's one thing, but something where the potential for it to dry out is there, that kind of helps prevent that a little bit. Unlock all the cabins stream on Friday? Maybe. Could be a good way to do it. I don't know, but I think based on the day that Kyla and her family are supposed to go to the Taylor Swift concert, if they can get tickets, and I'm pretty sure they're still going to go and stand outside if they don't get tickets. I don't know the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure I should get to do a stream on Saturday And if that is the case, I'll probably do a lengthy one if possible. I don't like adding fat. That kind of defeats the purpose of eating lean wild meat. Yeah, if your goal to some degree is to specifically go after the leanness of wild meat, I totally get that. Why didn't you just buy tickets? Yeah, why didn't you just drop like $15,000? Your dad's a genius? That sounds so good. You know what we did one year? I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if he went to the butcher and they didn't have any, or if they were already closed, like maybe we shot a deer on a day that we didn't expect. Though, my dad's got so many freezers and stuff. Usually during rifle season, we'll quarter them and stick them in a freezer and deal with it sometime in the next week. You know, a day where maybe the conditions aren't good to hunt or whatever. But whatever the reason was, we couldn't get beef tallow. So what we did was actually, we got like a couple of pounds of bacon for, I can't remember the equation, but it would have been the same amount of beef tallow we put in, and ground up the venison with bacon. That stuff was good. Now, that definitely drives up the cost a little bit, but it was good. 15,000 for concert tickets? You think I'm exaggerating? I'm talking about for 3 people, to be clear. But there were front row tickets to the Detroit concert like 2 days ago. $11,000 each. The insanity that's happening with that concert, or that tour, I mean, and the ticket buying is nuts. You grind the meat with bacon for deer burgers? It makes fantastic burgers. It makes fantastic anything, but burgers in particular, a lot of times people do bacon burgers anyway. It's just a part of the patty. What DLC map should I buy first? It's so dependent on, like, you know, personal preference for species and terrain and all that type of stuff. What I typically recommend is, because you can play any map that you don't own in multiplayer, I would say just go to multiplayer, try out as many maps as you can. If there's one you really like, buy that one. Realistically, is there any fix to the resale issue? Honestly, I have no idea. I've thought about that. Other than, you know, you have to physically go to locations and buy tickets, and they'd have to implement some sort of maximum per person. I really don't know what you would do. Where do the animals go when you get rid of a zone? Typically nearby. See if I can find, like, a zone. Okay, so let's say, for instance, this drink zone here for Bobcats. If we shot 4 animals here and deleted that zone, most likely they're going to drink somewhere else along the river, but there's this lake here that's close by too. They could move to something like that. Generally, several hundred meters. The farthest I've ever seen a zone move is about 1 kilometer. One small cat. Where is he, though? There is he. This 338 thing does pretty good for them. What's up, Matthew? My brother just ran full speed into a door. Shadow does that on occasion. We set up a, it's almost like a netting fence for our little pumpkin garden we got going on. Because keeping the deer out's not going to be enough. We also needed something down low to keep, like, groundhogs and rabbits and stuff out. So it's this, like, 7-foot tall poly, whatever the heck. It's like the size of chicken wire, but it's a plastic material. And it goes all the way around the perimeter of the garden. I was out playing Frisbee with Shadow the other day, and she knows where this fence is, just to be clear. Because I threw the Frisbee, and typically it tends to, like, lean to the right and go down the hill, but this particular throw, it went left and went up above the garden. She ran right up to the fence and stopped. She knows where it is. So I had to go up into the woods and get the Frisbee. And then, I guess, maybe she doesn't realize that there's a fence on the other side. She comes tearing down the hill, runs into that fence, and bounces off of it like a trampoline. And then she was done playing Frisbee. She didn't want to play anymore. You and Shadow should get into disc golf? Dude, okay. I was at my mom and dad's yesterday, as I typically am on Sundays. And my mom got some little, you know, those junky plastic Frisbees that you get for free. It had like a company's name on it for whatever, you know, small amount of advertising that does. And she was like, hey, I got this for Shadow. It was free. And I was like, okay, so I threw it once. She wouldn't give it back. I legitimately, within like 20 seconds, she had taken a chunk of the plastic out of the Frisbee. Like, immediately. Where do I hit a moose with the 270? If you can get them broadside, just right behind the shoulder. They're going to run a good bit, but it's going to get them. Only toes. What type of dog is Shadow? A lab? No, she is a border collie and something mix. According to the people we got her from, she is a blue heeler mix, but literally nobody that looks at her thinks that makes any sense. She may have some blue heeler in her, but it's definitely not the majority. There you go, bottom boy. Just come out the Monongahela or something. I don't know which river's the closest to the stadium. Well, I mentioned earlier we hadn't had a max estimate level 7. There you go. Gonna go all the way to the end, just in case. So what do we kill? 3 max estimates today? See, now I'm gonna feel as if I have to come back through. We still have 30 minutes, so we're gonna go back where we started, but the necessity to check for respawns is definitely real. Okay. So yeah, that's what we'll do. I guess we ran... How many Bobcat zones did we have? We did have some the whole way. We could do this chunk. We'll do that. 30 minutes would be 2 in-game hours, so we'll just reset the time back to about 4. And we'll call it good. Didn't know Mel's Gaming was the moderator. That's another great Call of the Wild channel. Absolutely. And Wade the Hunter. And Classic. Alright. Let us... Huh. I don't remember that being there. We'll do... like 355 or something. Just so we don't go over. We could do this chunk quoting my wife? Well, that's good to know. Thanks for sharing. Alright. We'll just go from the bridge north. Just get done with work. Glad I could catch the rest of the stream. Glad you can make it in, man. We have shot 3 max estimate Bobcats, 2 8s and a 7. And we're starting our way up another little chunk of the river, so we'll see if we can get lucky enough to get a level 9 to show up. $2,500 to reset the time? Yeah, since we've done probably 3 or 4 resets here, that amount goes up. Out of all 3 hunting games, which is your favorite? It's such a tough question for me to answer because it almost depends what criteria I want to use. Like, Call of the Wild is the one I play the most. I guess by that metric it's my favorite, but it's also the one that's getting the most, you know, consistent content updates. It's got the most species, the most maps. All that variety certainly helps. I still think Classic's the best hunting game ever made. And if you said, like... Well, I don't know why this would make any sense, but let's say, for instance, YouTube was like, okay, here's the deal. You can only make games on one... You can only make games. You can only make videos on one game for your channel, or we're going to ban you. I'd probably pick Classic, because the randomness of the spawns, I think it's something I could do every day and not get bored. And then I think Wade the Hunter's the best kind of modern, hunting simulation game. They've got a long way to go, and they're years and years behind Call of the Wild and Classic in terms of a head start, but I really like where they're at. I like them all a lot, but I guess to simply answer your question, Call of the Wild is going to be my favorite just because of the amount of content and stuff. I've said many times too, there's a reason why Call of the Wild is the most popular hunting game out there, and a combination of fun, amount of animals you're going to see, accessibility. They've struck that balance, I think, better than any hunting game has. But what about great ones? I think, great one grinds to give me something to do for a long time, but once I have one of each, that'd be about it for me. If you hear all these sounds, by the way, Shadow's awake and very happy. Good morning. You have to kill both the male and the female bobcats to get respawns. I don't think bobcats are a pair animal. Like, red fox and gray fox, you'll generally see the males and females. You'll get, like, a pair with a male and a female in it. Bobcats, I think, are solo spawns, so I'm killing the females when we see them just because, but I don't think you need to get the respawns. Non-tips be great ones for me. Okay, so I've got a classic video coming out tomorrow, and let me first say I don't kill a non-typical in it, but I did kill something pretty special, and all I'm doing in this video is attempting to knock out the remaining objectives in the flip-flop event. And one of them was to, well, I won't spoil what I got actually, but in doing one of the objectives, I was on a deer map, and I was calling in this deer, and I literally had it planned to say, like, the thing I like about the events is the fact that while you're hunting for certain species for objectives, there's still that chance that you run into other stuff. And as this deer's coming in, I had planned out to say, one of these days it'll be a non-tip, but this is a small male or something. And then it turned out to be a very cool thing. But my point is, my dream always, when a deer grunts, is that it's going to be a non-tip. Bobcats weigh way too much in this game. I think the average bobcat is too heavy in this game, but, I mean, a 45 kilo bobcat, that didn't drop out of the sky. That's something, that's probably the biggest one ever recorded or something. It's a 200 whitetail? Yeah, definitely. Do you think they'll add another map in Africa? I hope so. I feel like that is one place where they definitely could, bring a lot of new species and stuff into the game quite easily. But I do kind of see Beard's point, but something he said recently on an EW stream is, if they did add another Africa map, how could they top it? Which is probably true. It would probably cause every future map that comes out to get a bunch of comments that are something to the effect of, why isn't this as good as the last map? So I get what he's saying. And I guess that means maybe one of EW's last maps ever will be Africa? We can only hope. Heaviest bobcat ever was 23.5 kilo. That fits more with Classics Bobcats. You know what it is, though? You're right. You're totally right. They used Lynx weights, and I'm pretty sure they just never fixed it. Or bothered to change it. You're 100% right. Spill the beans, did the Bantang make diamond? I can neither confirm nor deny anything about any Bantang that I may or may not have shot. I think diamond turkey should be heavier. 22 pounds, 22.5 pounds, whatever it is, it definitely could be bigger, at least for some. Merriam's 11 kilos is a lot, and I just went back and forth between kilo and pounds, but it's the same max weight. Easterns, you could see 25, maybe even close to 30 pounds being reasonable. I don't know for Rios. I'm guessing they're a smaller bird, but that is not one I'm familiar with their size. There's a bobcat. Now we're after that. We're going to leave because I don't want to run around the lake and go claim it. That said, I do want to go and check this little side. Do you still play Rocket League? I haven't played Rocket League since like April 1st of 2020 or something. It's been years. I definitely know that the mechanics of the game would have passed me by if I didn't basically retire when I did. I like using the term retire, it makes it sound more important, by the way. I was never a super mechanical player to begin with, so probably for the best that I kind of was about done with the game when things like flip resets and stuff became, you know, something that every Diamond and Platinum player could do. Do you like the metric system better? Not necessarily. Like, I specifically chose the Imperial system in Way the Hunter because that's what I use in real life. The reason that I use the metric system in Call of the Wild, you know, it's funny, I used to answer this like every stream. People always wondered this. Maybe for the most part it's known now. Is because Call of the Wild uses a lot of the same max weights for animals as Classic. And of course, Classic, there is no choice. You can only play in metric. So rather than relearning what a max weight whitetail is in pounds, and a max weight elk is in pounds, and a max weight moose in pounds, I already know it in kilo from Classic. They're the exact same numbers, so I just stuck with metric. Well, it was worth a try looking up here. I figured being this close to the river we would get some. Just no big ones. Hey, what's up, the Hunter Game? Good to see you, man. Do you miss the 1 to 1,000 system? At times, you know, a max score anything was always super special, and while you still have max scores now for things that don't have true racks, it just never hits the same. Like, for instance, we killed a max score lynx over on Reventuli, and I actually didn't know it was a max score, because max score used to be 29. I guess it's 28.98 now for some reason. That's what I was told. But even if we knew that that was the max, you claim a lynx and it says 28.98, it's just like, wow, that's a max score. It doesn't hit the same as that's a 1,000. You know what I mean? Metric weights and distances around numbers, that definitely helps too. Instead of we're going to zero for 164.38 yards, it's just a 150. And I would say if I use yards that were zeroing for 160, but, you know. What time do Bobcats drinks? 3 to 6 a.m. Is Call of the Wild Classic 2? No, and one reason that I maybe didn't enjoy Call of the Wild as much initially when it first came out and I first got to play it was that I thought it was going to be Classic 2, and my expectations were completely wrong in thinking that. Look at that weirdness. But it just had me really confused about all kinds of stuff in the game for a long time. Like, I didn't understand how anything worked. Had I gone in with the mindset that, like, this is its own thing, this is a new game, completely separate, it may have been a different thing. And eventually, you know, I kind of figured it out and ended up really loving the game. But there was a time when I was just kind of like, you know, I'll make this video on Call of the Wild. One big reason, genuinely, was because most people who had PCs at the time couldn't even run Call of the Wild. Like, it was really demanding for the average PC at the time. So I was trying to do missions and stuff for people who, you know, wanted to see the game, wanted to play the game, but couldn't. But I wasn't even very excited to play the game. What's up, Parker? Would you say you have a diamond of every species? We're missing Bobcat and Eurasian Wigeon. That is why we're here right now looking for Bobcats. It's tough to do a stream hunting for a diamond Wigeon. Like, we could sit there and just plink away at Wigeons with the 22, I guess, or sit there in a blind and get them with the shotgun, but it's just tough when you're sitting in one place for a stream. I would get bored of it after a while. I think everybody watching would get bored of it after a while. Do you have any tips or recommendations for starting a Hunter Call of the Wild YouTube channel? I'm trying to start my own, but kind of clueless on how to start. Well, the first thing I would say is generally you want to just be making content on something you would want to watch or something that you're going to enjoy doing. So, for instance, when I got into, now this is Classic, but it eventually translated into Call of the Wild. When I got into making videos on Classic, I was really big on watching YouTubers like JaxyBeard, Markiplier, these guys that did daily Let's Plays. Nobody at the time was doing daily Let's Plays of the Hunter Classic, and I was like, well, I wish I had daily Let's Plays of Classic to watch. Like, every now and then, Who Cares, or Datman Leroy, or Protse, these people who you may or may not know with old OG classic YouTube channels, they would drop a video every now and then, Let's Play style, and I really enjoy watching it, but nobody did the Let's Play stuff daily. So I kind of got into doing that. If there's a particular niche, especially that's like untapped potential that you can get into, that's a really good thing to do. But content that you want to make, content that you're going to enjoy, because the viewers are going to know if you're just doing it for the views or whatever. So like, you want to make content that you're genuinely passionate about. The next thing is, things such as tutorials, guides, those sort of things are always good, because you think about what people are searching on YouTube when it comes to Call of the Wild. Some people are searching for Diamond Bobcats, some people are searching for Diamond Moose, some people are searching for Great One Balladeer content. You've got all those sorts of things. But you know what everybody's new to the game is searching? How to get money. What's the best gun? Where are whitetail? Those are really good things to make content on, especially as a beginner, or as a beginner to YouTube, because it allows you to make content that's constantly going to be searched for. Like, one other thing to consider, something like, what was yesterday's video? Hold on. Okay, the huge albino moose video. That will probably do good for a little while, but other than people who specifically search for either me or albino moose, it's going to stop showing up. You're never going to get people stopping searching, how to play the game in different ways. Forgot about Leroy? Dude, he was the best. I don't know if he makes any videos anymore, but he had such a unique style. And don't self-promote other people's streams and videos. That's also generally good advice. Got trolled by a Wigeon not long ago, missed diamond by 1. Kind of killed my duck hunting mood. Dude, if I got trolled by a Wigeon, I would be really upset. I did get trolled by a gray lag though, and managed to persevere, so I guess maybe it would be okay, but they're tough. How many in-game hours do you have in Hunter Call of the Wild? 6,292 is my current total. And to answer the likely follow-up question, yes, I have played a lot. What? All my Call of the Wild videos are being suggested by Nerf gun fights at 3 AM gone wrong videos? Well, what kind of tags and stuff do you have? You miss Fooster's Call of the Wild videos? Fooster had some good Call of the Wild stuff. It was the forest and stuff that always, really did well on his channel, so I'm not surprised he's really moved into the survival game niche more, but I think he also had, a unique style with Call of the Wild. Did we get anything good today? Nothing really to speak of. We've shot 3 different max estimate Bobcats, 2 mythicals, and 1 7. That's not what I marked. It's so weird that happens. Like, it locks onto a zone or something. Okay. Back in 2019, I think you only had 1,800 hours, if I'm not wrong. That would probably be about right. It's a long time ago to figure where it would have been, but in that area. Small. I don't know if we hit that or not. Yeah, we did. Got an albino tufted duck goal scoring. Well, there you go. I really like the tufted ducks. We have a couple of diamonds of them. We've been fortunate that they just seem to spawn on our map whether we hunt for them or not. But I don't have any rare ones. I learned the other day that a 3-inch shotgun shell is 3 inches only when expanded. Yeah, it's 3 inches before the crimp, you mean? Just watched the Untamed Species was the 5 a diamond. I can neither confirm nor deny anything in regards to any of such bantang. Why do so many people like Rancho del Arroyo so much? I'm new to the map, but anywhere I go there's bushes, trees, and cactuses, no clear shot anywhere. Around lakes and stuff, you'll find some clear shots and some opportunity for, you know, better sight lines. It was for a very long time the best whitetail map, bar none. And it also remains to be the best pheasant map, as we just happened to shoot a pheasant there. So there's a couple of things it's the best for. It's probably still the best coyote map too. But it was definitely better when, well, basically prior to, I think Rebentuli, maybe even something else. Oh, you know what it was? They did a fix for frame rates on console, and they moved some animals around. And while that was a good fix, and it did help with console frame rates, everybody got so used to, you know, being able to go to a particular lake and see like 70 whitetail at it. In some spots, that was a legitimate reality. That when those lakes were no longer good, it just felt like it took away from the experience of playing the map, and now it's not really hunted as much anymore. Think Great One Fallow will be too easy, especially on Te Awaroa? We'll see. I mean, maybe they'll balance that out. Maybe EW themselves sees it that way, and therefore they're going to be even less likely to spawn, but who knows? Are you ever going to do a series phone up the new Layton Trophy Lodge? Slowly but surely, we've been working with that. That will probably take a backseat for, I imagine, close to a month while we hunt a bunch of Emerald Coast and most likely Te Awaroa and all that good stuff, but yeah, we've been working on it. We'll continue to. Will we see that Bantang in an early access video, and then can you confirm or deny it? I don't know. I say that because the making of that video was not within the parameters of the typical early access period, so I don't think that's content that I can then also use. I probably won't either way. Pop redistribution on fallow, like Bottom Boy said, just a pop reset. So for the most part, they'll be in the same places. When is early access videos? The early access period starts this Friday. Do you get to keep your progress in early access after the update? No. But will you be able to tell us? Yeah, I guess. The information, you know, as I said earlier, the reason that, you know, we don't want to give all that stuff away is that it's better for the community to find out, but through the early access content is generally found out anyway, so I guess that would be okay. I think I have everything set up still for my OG fallow grind for rare, so hopefully I won't have to change much. I don't know if your setup was anything like how mine was, but I definitely didn't have to move too much when we did that video not long ago. Big meal. Oh, hello. Just chilling. When there's a pop reset, does it delete zones? I can't remember. I think the zone icons will stay on your map, but the zone may no longer be used, if that makes sense. So, like, you may have, you know, a Bobcat drink zone right here, but no Bobcats actually use it. I think that's kind of how it works. You may also have Bobcats go and use that exact zone again. It just depends. You'd like to hunt the fallow on Emerald Coast? Tay just doesn't hold your attention? It doesn't really hold my attention either. I definitely get you. If I had it completely my way and I already had a Great One Moose, I'd probably prefer to do it with Emerald Coast, but knowing the fact that even if I get a Great One Fallow quickly, I've got 2 Great One grinds to try to get back to, I'll probably pick what I expect to be the fastest option. It depends though. Like, there's a chance that Emerald Coast is nuts for fallow. Where did that rabbit go? There he is. Glad I caught you live. What are we hunting? We're after a diamond bobcat today. We've shot 3 different max estimate males, 2 8s and 1 7. Just trying to get one of the 2 diamonds that we don't have in the game. Why did you write the plural of moose wrong in the description? Is the description of this stream about meese still? It might be. If you're talking about meese, though, that's been a joke in our community for forever. I don't think it's just specific to our community. A lot of people say meese instead of moose. But it's something we've always done. Mises, you're right, you're right. Did you give up on the Great One Bear? I wouldn't say I gave up. I would say that what I'm attempting to do, instead of going back and forth between the moose and the bear grinds, I think it's more likely that we finish the moose grind sooner. Mostly because, you know, we're able to grind. That's a big one, isn't it? I kind of thought that was going to miss, but it was worth a try. I think diamond is 450 for them. I might be misremembering. Yeah, I might not find out today. I know the max is 500. Oh well. How many great ones do you have? Just 2. But anyway, yeah, to complete what I was saying about the Great One grinds and stuff, I expect to probably be able to get a Great One moose quicker, and rather than going back and forth, if I can knock out one of the grinds, that being moose, and then just solely focus on bear, that's the way that I'd like to do it. Sharp shooting there, partner. Hey, you know, that's what you come here for top tier shooting advice. Is Parker the best map for red deer grinding? Is there a better option? Taorawa is generally considered the best. Largely because, well, for one, there's just more deer. Like, it is loaded. But a huge factor there in it being better than Parquet, there are Fumas on Parquet that will spook your red deer before you're ready to shoot them, or, you know, spook your red deer and they're not in their zone anymore, have them nervous elsewhere. Tay's got no predators, so you never have to worry about anything like that. What does your accuracy say in the codex? 80% plus? I don't think. There's a reason for it being as low as it is. Overall 77%, but shotguns is over 100 because it's broken. Bows are at 45, rifles are at 69, handguns 61. So the 22 is the reason that our rifle accuracy is so low. The reason my bow accuracy is so low is because when whitetail jackrabbits came out over on Layton Lakes, there was a... Not only did I want to just get a diamond in general, we also had like a $50 bet between Jaxy, Zaggy, and I as to who could get a diamond jackrabbit first. And what I was doing, because I was struggling to find them, was I was running along with a recurve bow, and every like 100 meters or so, I would just shoot the ground with the recurve. It would make a little sound. It would sometimes get them to warning call. So it completely ruined my accuracy, but I did get a lot of rabbits. Lucas, thank you for the super chat. I've been watching you for I don't know how long. I love you. Well, thank you, man. Appreciate the long-standing support as well. Meese grinding Reventuli is pretty good. Yeah, Reventuli is another one that at some stage I may well consider swapping the grind over there. What happened to TK's super chat sound? You know what I think happened to it? I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure when Streamlabs OBS kind of started doing all that shady work practices and stuff, I swapped over to Stream Elements, and when I did my alerts, I just kept the typical sounds. Who won the bet? I did, actually. Not because of anything I did with the recurve bow, funny enough. Jaxy, if you remember way back in the day, Jaxy used to stream for me, and if you don't know what the heck that means, when I lived at my parents' house, our internet was way too slow to stream. So what we did was Jaxy would stream, you would see his perspective, but it was streamed to my channel, and then I would be in a Discord call with him, and you know, obviously we'd interact and hang out and all that good stuff, but I would be the one to read the chat and stuff. So it was like I was streaming, but you saw Jaxy's perspective. We were doing one of those streams, and if I remember the events correctly, I picked up a max weight rabbit track, we followed it around, and then Beard actually was the one to spot it. But, you know, it was, I'm going to say it was my stream, even though, like, he was the one doing the streaming. So therefore he wasn't just like, well, I'm going to shoot that. So, it was a little bit of a team effort. It was also, when I say it was a $50 bet, it wasn't actually between the three of us. It was a viewer who was like, hey, whoever gets one first, I'll donate $50. 5 medium! Holy! Clutch time, we're going to go up a little bit further. Let's go to like... About the time we get to there, we're going to be out of Bobcat drink time anyway. So we'll go up to there, a little bit past 5 p.m., but that's all good. TK filed a copyright claim? That's true, yeah. That's his new company's sound alert. I don't know. I can't come up with anything. Do you like the Yukon Valley map? I really like it, actually. I'm calling it level 3 piebald? Lynx? I mean Bobcat? Seems unlikely, I'm not gonna lie. What's up, Rolex? How hyped are you about the new map? I am really, really excited for a bunch of reasons. I mean, it's obviously, anytime a new map's coming out, that's always good for the new species and new diamonds to strive for and, you know, new rares to maybe try to find. All that sort of thing is cool. Why is he growling? That Bobcat must be close. There it is. But maybe more so is just the specific species. Roosa deer, sandbar deer, hog deer. I think that's going to be a ton of fun. I'm really interested in this new croc behavior that Jaxy was talking about, and I guess the gators are supposed to have the same new behavior. So there's a lot of good stuff to look forward to and uncover and all that. That's the sound he plays when he's swinging in his saddle. There you go. Imagine stumbling across an albino kangaroo. That would be cool. That's the only rare kangaroo type in Classic. Knowing Call of the Wild, they may have, you know, several, but man, just like seeing an albino out there hopping along in the outback, that'd be pretty sweet. Lucas, thank you for the super chat again. Will you and Scarecrow play together on the new map? We'll have to see, I guess. I don't know when the last time I specifically remember doing a collab was a... Oh, it was the April Fool's thing, actually. I was going to say a black buck hunt. I saw your Emerald Coast video with the buffalo-like animals, the Bantang. Yeah, that was a good time. I really enjoy getting to do that. Will the red deer pop reset your grind? This is really tough for me to explain. There is nothing to reset in your grind in a way. The reason that... okay, actually, if you're herd managing, then yes, it'll reset your grind. But because everything else is down to random chance anyway, it doesn't change anything. Unless you've got a great one on your map and it resets and that great one goes away, you've still got the same chance of your next kill spawning a great one as you did before the reset. Does that make sense? Rip herd management? No, I'm just saying, like, if you have a herd managed map that you have all, you know, stacked in level 2s or whatever you do, that will definitely need to be re-herd managed to make that make sense. Hopefully EW does the untamed species in the future. I think it'd be a good move. Get more creators involved, get some more hype going for the map. Best I can tell, the 2 videos now, both the Roosa deer and the Bantang, are really getting people hyped up about the map. It's a little opportunity to see the map a bit early. It's a highlight of a certain species. I love that EW provided that, like, B-roll, like the up-close footage of the animals. I just think that's the coolest thing. Like, getting to work that in with a little bit of a hunt, it was a neat concept. Could you say if hunting the Bantang is easy or hard? It's a good, like, balance. I do find that it's challenging in the sense that their senses are really good. Like, many times, they were noticing me before I'd noticed them. They'd either warning call, or I would just, you know, I look up and they're fleeing, whatever it may have been. Many times I was sending them running. But I also wouldn't say they're, you know, difficult like hunting a red fox or a bobcat or something. Speaking of bobcats, good chance that's our last kill. How long are you streaming today? Probably as long as it takes us to run up there and claim that bobcat. We are a little over the 2-hour mark now. Do we have a 340 caliber in Call of the Wild, or will we eventually? We don't. That would be a good, you know, a good option as a maybe another class 7 to 9 rifle, or even class 8 to 9. I'm surprised we don't have an 8 to 9. I feel like we need one. This is weird how like that zoom does that. Not a fan. What rating is the Diamond Bobcat? 27.7 something. I don't think it's 27.70, but it's in there. Be much better if they allowed content creators to show max level for the species, what score medals, i.e. diamond score. So I think they just want the community to discover that, but at the same time, because of early access, that information's going to eventually come out anyway. So we'll see, maybe they'll decide differently, but, you know, I do think it's always good to err on the side of not revealing too much. Lucas, thank you for the super chat again, by the way. I got my first diamond, a legendary Grey Wolf. Nice, man. That's a pretty cool first as well. Definitely not an easy one to get. I think on that note, though, that is probably going to do it for this stream. So, definitely here before Friday. We'll have to try to come back and check on our respawns, see if we have anything else good. I don't know how many... Must have shot over 20 today. We killed... Now this is male and female. But we killed 20 in the last hour? 20 in the last like 40 minutes? Probably at least 25 to 30 males then. In the course of the entire stream. So we'll definitely have to come back, check respawns, see if we can look into a diamond before Emerald Coast. But yeah, on that note, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the support. And I'll see you in tomorrow's classic video with the little special Nito kill. Bye!